Ba-da-doom, ba-da-da-doom, bum bum. And this is episode what, 19?
Yes, sir.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, the finale.
It's pretty dope. Pretty good. Pretty good. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I like how they ended it. It's a little different than what I expected, but it was dope. It was good.
I really liked episode 9. And I really liked episode 10. But I liked episode 9 more. Episode 10 was pretty predictable because as soon as I seen Strange, I knew where they were going with it.
Doctor Strange and all that, multiverse and shit.
As soon as I seen Strange, I knew where they were going with that episode. I was like, predictable, but I like it.
Yeah, it's cool. I thought it was. I didn't see it at first. I didn't see it. I didn't see it until it happened. I was like, oh, okay, that's what he was doing with it.
Yeah, I started feeling it out because the moment he was like, "Oh, you did this down the third line," he was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Oh, okay, I got it." But yeah, so this week we are finishing up the first season of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which I think was really damn good for this first iteration of this new Spider-Man. We got 2 episodes this week. We have Hero or Menace. And we have If This Be My Destiny as the last 2 episodes. Honestly, I think I'll just jump into the explanation of episode 9 and you can say how you felt about it, what you liked, what you didn't, and then we'll move into episode 10. So episode 9 is Hero or Menace. Spider-Man swings into action as Lonnie looks to settle a score and Norman visits an old friend.
That was episode 9?
Yes.
Okay, I got the mix up in my head. I thought the last episode was the one with the. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes more sense. Yeah, okay. So yeah, this episode was dope. This episode was cool. It went a little different from what I thought it would do. I liked about it. I like the whole Tombstone development. That was dope. Him in the van and the chemicals spilling out and him actually becoming super strong. That was cool. I mean, I definitely know Tombstone is going to end up fighting Spider-Man, but to see them fighting together was dope. That was definitely dope. They had like a good fighting scene. See Scorpion go down. That was cool. We gave like a little prediction about how Lonnie was going to take the gang. We saw that. That went different.
Yeah, that was kind of faster than I thought. That part happened way faster than I thought, but he hasn't really taken the gang yet, but like they lined it up already, but I didn't think they were going to do that in this episode. But they did, like I called last week, they did give us the Lonnie change, the reason for the Lonnie change here in this episode. I knew that had to come before the season ended, and they gave it to us. And it was realistically, I'll give a little breakdown now. So basically what it was is that Spider-Man, this episode really didn't revolve around Spider-Man too much, other than the big fight. Because this episode really revolves around a fight, and it revolves around Norman Osborn. And that's like really all that goes on in this episode. So basically what's going on is after Doc Ock was taken into prison, all his stuff is being escorted to Oscorp because basically what had happened is Norman later on goes to visit Octavius and explains to him that, yo, I set all this up. You're in this fucking cell because of me. I called Ross. I told him that you had all this shit and I orchestrated a plan to be given all the stuff that you were working on. So despite you leaving Oscorp on bad terms and saying that I would never get my hands on your technology and I was your inferior, I still have my hands on your product and I'm going to do what I want with it. Oh, and the other part that I called last week is that they were definitely trying to figure out how to make more Spider-Men like people. Because he's definitely doing that shit in this episode. So
they're the reason why there is a Spider-Man.
Yeah, realistically, once we get to episode 10, we'll see that that's the reason why that there is an actual Spider-Man. And I love that flip that they have for it. But so to go back to episode 9, we start off in an area where Lonnie and the gang are in the car and they're watching the Oscorp cars getting ready to escort all the stuff to Oscorp from Dr. Octavius's hiding out warehouse. And they orchestrate a plan to hijack the truck, take it, and use all those tools. Because they see other people running around with these tools, and they're like, we want to be superpowered people too. But when they finally get the trucks to stop, the Scorpion Gangs pops up and they get the tussling and all that shit. And then Spider-Man shows up, and you know, Mr. Mac Gargan and shit gets really, aka Scorpion, gets really upset because all the people he wants to see is in one area right now, and he feels like he could take out everybody. And we finally get to see our boy Peter Parker in the red and blue, which looks really good in this episode. It made me smile when I seen it. It looked really good seeing him in the actual Spider-Man suit.
He looked like the Spider-Man 2. He looked like the Spider-Man from the game, from Spider-Man 2 on the PS5. When you get the animated suit.
Okay. Yeah, that you've been seeing on the internet and shit like that. Yeah.
Nah, I played it yesterday.
Oh, you got it?
Nah, I don't got it. My boy got it. Wayne got it.
Oh, all right. Wayne got a PlayStation now? Yeah, so basically what happens is a big old gang fight starts up between the 1/10 and the Scorpion Gang. And then Spider-Man jumps in, and it's pretty much just a fight throughout the whole time. And it's one of those moments that leads into episode 10 and what happens in episode 10, because Peter kind of loses his cool a little bit, and Lonnie stops him. But in the midst of the fight, Lonnie goes to get in the truck to try to get weapons to fight the Scorpion Gang, and a gas canister breaks open, and here's your introduction to actual Tombstone, which hasn't fully developed yet.
He only got there though because you forgot to mention Don ran. He only got there because Don ran.
What do you mean? Who only got there?
He all right, because if Don one had ran, feel me, like it would have been like he would have followed Don's lead. Remember, he's like, yo, Don, our people's getting fucked up. What should we do? So if Don
my nigga said, I'm getting the fuck out of here because Scorpion almost murdered that nigga. If Don
call for the gang, they would have all got out of there. But Lonnie didn't have no choice. He left the gang. He had to do something, so he like, yo, the van. Remember? And then
Home Chick tried to stop him, and then Doze tackled Home Chick, and then he got in the van. I think they would have eventually got there even if Don didn't leave, but yeah, that kind of is what led to him deciding to go into the van. Because anyways, they were going into that van anyways, bro. They was getting the shit out of it. But
because when he was in the van, he like just knocked over one thing, and it just happened to be the Tombstone formula. Like
whatever the gas canister had in there, he was knocked out for a quick second, got out of it, and him and Spider-Man worked together to take out Mac Gargan. They were beating his ass too. I was laughing because I'm like, this dude talking all this hot shit, getting his ass beat by 2 fucking high schoolers right now. He don't even know.
It's going to be interesting to see the pigment change,
which they show a little bit in the next episode.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. They show it toward the end of the last episode, or toward the end of that episode, whenever he was like getting back in the car and he was basically chilling with the gang. Because if you look at his fingertips, he touched a brick or something like that, and his fingertips were turning gray.
I didn't peep that.
Yeah, so he was already having residual effects by the end of the episode. So him and Spider-Man take down Mac Gargan, and it's really sweet because a lot of action goes on. We won't ruin the action, but they was really banging the fuck out. There was moments because it got so empty in that street when it was Lonnie and Spider-Man fighting Mac. I'm like, where'd the rest of the gang go, bro? There was a whole street fight going on, bro, and everybody was all sitting to the side watching. They just started sitting to the side watching the fight, bro. So
it was. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So the other side of the episode is Norman Osborn going to Dr. Octavius and basically just telling him that he put him in jail. Us finding out Norman Osborn probably isn't as clean as he is. But there's not much to that story in this episode, I feel like. The other thing that happens is when that truck was going crazy and they was all driving, N.E.O almost gets ran over by that truck and Spider-Man gets in the way and stops her. And that's kind of the moment where N.E.O kind of comes down from being mad at Peter and understands like, oh, this guy's a real superhero. Like, he's not just out here playing. Like, he's not just playing around and being a bad friend. He's actually out here saving lives. So...
yeah, she took her a little minute to come around, but she got there.
Yeah, so I feel like that kind of encompasses that episode, and I think it just is a good episode because it builds the bond between Lonnie and Peter without them knowing it's Lonnie and Peter. Like, obviously Peter knows, but Lonnie doesn't know. And it's just going to make it even worse when Tombstone really becomes full out Tombstone and they start beefing with each other. So it's nice building blocks.
I wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly they're gonna be like doing gang shit, like hitting a job or something. You know what I mean? So,
Because by the end of
but
the
I just
episode, he
wonder.
does throw out his high school jacket.
Right, and then he tells them he has a few ideas about getting the gang right. So,
Yes,
and then he's like, first we need a territory. So I'm thinking honestly, he's gonna go take over the Scorpions territory.
probably.
I'm thinking now. I'm thinking now that he knows he's indestructible. That I mean, that's what I would do if I was if I was.
Yeah, man, because the Scorpion tried to stab that motherfucker and he took that shit to the
Yeah.
chest and he was just looking at it like, hey, cool.
I would go beat their ass. Honestly, I would go beat their ass and take over their territory ASAP.
Yo, my man Lonnie was out there doing flips and shit. He was looking like Spider-Man. I was like, damn, this dude got moves. What the
Nah, he was
fuck?
moving. Nah, that's why I said that fight with him too. They was moving,
He
bro.
wasn't just
Like
being some super. He wasn't just being some football player. He was out there with the moves, bro. Like moves like
yeah.
Jagger.
Like y'all niggas practice this shit. Like the
Mad
fuck?
in tandem, right?
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope though. It was a good episode though.
And then we can basically just move into episode 10, which is if this be my destiny. And I feel like this is the more interesting episode, even though 9 was the episode I probably enjoyed more. But this is where it gets really interesting because this is an Oscorp episode. You find out a good amount of things in this episode too, because it's the last episode and it has to leave the cliffhangers for the next season. But realistically, you get Peter Parker's crime-fighting battles come to an end in the season finale. But realistically, Norman Osborn's a scumbag at the end of the day.
What happened? What happened with Norman? Oh yeah, you know he released the shit. He's the reason. It's crazy how they did it. It reminds me, real quick. It reminds me. I wonder if they looked at this Netflix movie. There's a Netflix movie that's honestly just like this. That's like basically she was the reason why she became what she became, but it was like some past, you know what I mean? Like so
That's the
it's
topic,
crazy.
a concept in a lot of things lately. Because the one that I mainly think of right away is Attack on Titan.
Oh
Aaron
shit.
Yeager is literally a result
Yeah.
of his own actions,
Yeah.
basically in the future.
Oh yeah. That I didn't even think about that one. But yeah, that's interesting. Norman is definitely a scumbag, and but he's definitely a reason why we have the Spider-Man.
Yes.
Like,
And
you know what I
it's
mean?
not necessarily that he did anything directly, but it's more like his actions and his use of the inventions that the kids were working on and stuff like that was more the reason why all this happens. Because basically what it is that he goes to show the kids, huh?
I said his scumbagness.
Yeah, because he's doing things that nobody knows he's really doing. But he at least lets the kids know. Like, yeah, they even said it. They're like, this is not what we agreed to work on. But I mean, we'll see it real quick.
Kind of new though, and he's like with it too.
Amadeus he's also kind of a scumbag though. If you can't really tell throughout the episodes, bro, like he ain't really the nicest of dudes. He's kind of about himself.
He kind of knew, and he was like with the whole shit too. So
I think he's more just like, yo, like how Norman said this is gonna be good on your resume in the long term. I think that's kind of Amadeus' like motive. He's like, if I could build my resume, I'm down, and that's all he needed to hear.
Yeah.
So
he's like, I don't care what happens.
So basically, what happens in this episode is that Norman brings them down to their secret lair or whatever it is, and he shows them his invention. And the invention that they're working on is like a portal to other places. So he basically tells that I always forget that other professor's name, the one that hates Peter and the kids and all that shit. But he tells him to start.
Yeah, it's crazy. He said that shit clear as day too.
And I never let it stick, bro. It never sticks with me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just call him Vulture because I feel like he's gonna be Vulture later. So I'm gonna just keep saying it until another Vulture pops up.
He does play Vulture.
And he's old. He's always old in the movies, bro. Like and all that shit. So like he fits it. So he's Vulture for now until there's a Vulture. But yeah. So basically, he goes to activate the machine, and a Strange portal pops up because our good friend Doctor Strange is coming to tell them what you're about to do is not what you should be doing because you're opening up the realms and opening up pathways for things that should not be here. And Norman is just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then Peter says, you were there at Midtown. And Norman just all of a sudden just blames him for being the destruction of Midtown. And Peter doesn't speak up.
To deflect.
Yeah, he
was trying
definitely
to
used that to
like,
deflect so he could get away with turning on the machine and all that stuff. So people were like, oh, you're the bad guy. We shouldn't listen to you. But like, whatever. He was like, who calls themselves a sorcerer? I was like, dog, you live in a world of superheroes, bro. Shut the fuck up.
like nigga,
Like, what the fuck?
calls himself Spider-Man. Like, what the hell? Like,
But they activate the machine, and what happens next? Because it's not the Strange Portal, but they open up that machine, and then they're like, oh yeah, look, it's space. It's an infinite void. There's nothing here. And then 2 minutes later, the Venom pops up. The Venom pops up.
3.0, cause that nigga crazy.
Yeah. And then they're all panicking and going all over the place. Then Peter goes into his Spider-Man mode. Like I said, in that red and blue suit. And it looks so good. Because the mask, the eyes move so nicely and shit too. Ooh, buddy. But yeah, him and Strange start fighting the Venom.
Him and Strange make a good team. Like, they keep highlighting him and Strange in the cartoon and the movie. Like, they make a cool team. I'm not gonna front.
Yeah, especially because they're both smart guys and stuff like that.
In the game where Marvel, with the right,
Rivals.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've seen clips on the game with Strange portals and Spider-Man swinging through them and shit. I never played the game, but I've seen those clips and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
like, they make a good team.
They're not really the combo to be using in that game, but yeah, I mean, it happens and shit like that. But so basically, what it is they're fighting the Venom in the little lair where they had the machine and all that stuff. They evacuated everybody, but Strange and Spider-Man are fighting them, and the Venom is wrecking shop. But when they need to buy time, what Strange does is he opens a portal. And this is where everything gets interesting because that portal is actually a portal to the past. And that portal to the past is actually episode 1.
Yeah, that was crazy. It's like, it's wild because what if that spider would have bit somebody else? They would have had Peter's blood. Like that spider was just slated, like it was just meant for Peter because it had his own blood in it.
Yeah, like I mean, it's more like a time paradox type of thing than anything.
Right, yeah.
Because you're right, because if it didn't bite Peter, then Peter's not Spider-Man, but it needs to bite Peter because they take the blood from Peter in the episode.
Right, so, because if it would have bit N.E.O, it would have just been, you know what I'm saying? Like, it been a whole nother story.
And that's why that point I made last week where it's like 2099, like there's got to be something that makes this make sense because 2099 would be all this dude's ass, bro. And if it was N.E.O getting bit, 2099 would be all of her ass because it's like it wasn't meant for you. It wasn't meant for you. Like, so, but that's when you find out. Because what was really strange about this, no play on the name, but when Norman says he is the one responsible for Midtown High School being destroyed, Strange is like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, he's like, what are you talking about? Yeah. I don't even know what Midtown is, bro, at this point.
Then when he got there, he was like, oh, we're not supposed to be here.
Because he was just told that Midtown got destroyed, and he's basically like, oh. And they also show the spider dropping from the ceiling and then falling into the portal. So you're like, okay, cool, that's where the spider comes from. It's from Norman Osborn doing his little projects and experiments on the spiders, and it just happens to get down there and bites Peter in the past, which is really weird that something in the future that depended on the past still affects the past, but whatever. No, I don't give a fuck.
No. That's what I mean. Like, it's very, like you said, it's a time paradox.
Yeah, it's like no matter how this goes, it had to go this way.
Think about it. Like, it could be considered a fixed point in time. Like, if it doesn't happen, then the timeline will probably be destroyed.
What do they call it? Like an absolute moment or whatever it is that Marvel likes to refer to it as? Yeah, exactly. And they even kind of play into it later on with their discussion later between Strange and Spider-Man. But yeah, so you find out that Spider-Man is created because of this moment in time where he's already Spider-Man. Oddly enough, but whatever. And they end up stopping the Venom because they show you what happens after Strange pulls the Venom back through the portal, is that other symbiote were ready to hop through that damn portal. There was like 5 of them motherfuckers waiting.
They was looking weird as fuck too.
Because it was just blocked. Because it's like the movie, how he just pops off of Eddie sometimes. And it's just like the head. Yeah, because it's just the head popping up. And then they threw the Venom in there, and what they had to do is they had to destroy the machine. And Spider-Man luckily gets that done, and they stop the threat and all that stuff. But like what always happens, a piece of the symbiote is left over.
Right. And you know what's crazy? I thought initially it was gonna attach itself to Peter,
I
but
thought
Norman
it did
felt it.
too. I thought it did too.
But
That's what I
it,
was
but
thinking.
Norman felt it, so it's gonna be interesting.
Especially
I think.
because Peter
Hmm?
was going through the moment in the episode before when he was about to do the thing to Mac Gargan, and and then he had the conversation with
He lost
Norman. He was like, "Yo, I
control.
almost lost myself there," and that's the
Yeah.
perfect moment for it to be like, "I'm attaching to Peter right then and there."
Well, you know what though? I can see it now. Sometimes what they play on the symbiote, they play it like, oh, sometimes it gets Peter first, but sometimes it goes through different hosts
Then
to
it gets to
find
Peter,
Peter, to find that Peter's the perfect one. Like, so they could be going that route where it's gonna look for the perfect host.
or he's gonna do experiments with the symbiote, and it's gonna get really weird.
That too, we could see Agent Venom
I wonder why
in
their
here.
Venom looks like that, or their symbiote creature. Because I'm not gonna call it Venom yet, because Venom's not really Venom until he like attaches to like Eddie
Well,
Brock
yeah,
or whatever it is.
I think that's why it looks like that
Because
because
it's just a symbiote
it's just a
creature, right?
symbiote. Yeah, it's a symbiote. Honestly, like
Which
that's
makes
like
sense.
Riot. That's like Riot, just in this in a symbiote form.
Yeah,
The dude who fought Venom, like it's just
yeah,
like Riot. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like
Makes hella sense. So at the end of the day, they stop the problems. You find out that Norman Osborn is up to a lot of shit under people's noses. You also find out that a certain somebody is working with Daredevil, trying to bust Norman Osborn, who I won't say, so you can watch the episode and see for
oh yeah,
yourself.
this is when
But
they start
somebody's working
revealing
with
a lot of
Daredevil,
stuff.
who you've seen a plenty of times in the episode in these shows. Um, Doctor Strange and Peter
I
have their
forgot
little
what he
heart to heart,
said.
and he's talking about we don't know how that affects the past, and he's like, "Hey, bro, honestly, like I'm one of those things that got affected because I wouldn't be here right now fighting with you if that didn't happen." And then he leaves him with because Peter asks him if he knows what the future holds, because he's like, if you could travel to the past, I'm pretty sure you could travel to the future. Do you know what my future holds or what's out there for me? And he basically said, I can't tell you, because obviously he can't tell him, just like he does in every scenario, even like he did in Infinity, where I can't tell you what's going to
Right.
happen because you got to play it out yourself. But he told him, you're ready for whatever's going to come your way. And it's a nice little wrap up for the season, honestly, to handle it that way with all these exposures. And, oh, in those moments where they were showing the Daredevil, the Strange and Peter conversation, that's when they show Lonnie, I think.
They show,
And
yeah,
he's
they
on the
show
phone and
Lonnie.
his
Okay, with the
fingertips are
hands.
grayed.
Okay, yeah,
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 yeah, his
yeah.
fingertips are grayed. And that's where I was like, okay, cool. He is getting that issue with the skin where he's turning gray, which is gonna be crazy because we know things like Pearl is gonna see him and she's gonna be like, what the fuck happened? And these are gonna be all these things that trigger him into becoming the person that he becomes later on.
I mean, yeah, even the brother Dre, the mother, he has the connection with
Yeah.
the mother.
He's gonna have
So,
all
so
these
it's
people he's gonna have to reapproach at some point, and they're gonna see him with the gray skin, and they're like, "What the fuck happened? Who are you?" Like, blah blah blah, and this, that, and the third.
also a big thing that they finally, I guess, trying to play on now is Peter's dad is in jail apparently.
That made me laugh. I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah,
What's Peter?"
I have no idea where they're going with that.
In
So
most
that's gonna
stories,
be
Peter's
very.
dad was a smart dude. Like he was a scientist also, and that's why Peter's smart. Is because he has just his parents were smart. So I wonder how that's gonna play in because they're probably gonna be like, your dad probably had something to do with Octavius and Norman Osborn at some time. He's probably a partner of them.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just interesting because we don't hear about. I mean, they're always dead.
He's probably
They're
taking the
always
fall
dead.
for something that they did.
Probably Norman.
Yeah. Because as we see, Norman's a scumbag,
Yeah.
like we said. Was
Yeah.
Norman did it, but Norman does this really good job of being a really good mentor to Peter, though. Like he's like well, obviously we know he's the Tony Stark of the series compared to the MCU, but like he does more enabling of Peter than Tony Stark did. Like Tony Stark wanted him with the
I think
training wheels on.
he kind of like, yeah, I get what you're saying. I think though that was just
He's smiling in his face, stabbing him in the back, kind of, but
that
not
was
yet
more
stabbing
like
him in the back.
grooming, like yeah, that was like more like grooming. I feel like give it
Yes.
your all. I'm gonna give him the best. You know, like I'm gonna really give this effort and just to groom him because Peter right now. Besides that whole thing with him letting the symbiote in, you know what I mean? With just what we just explained. Up until that point, Peter was with Norman. Like Norman, you
Yeah,
good
he's
money,
young and
like you know.
impressionable. He's looking for some kind of like male figure in his life, and that's Norman at this point.
Right. He's like, you good money, so it's like. But now though, now at the end of the
Norman's the
episode, remember,
Palpatine to Anakin Skywalker right now.
remember they start. Remember, also Nico, Harry, and Peter had a conversation about how they was going to maneuver now that their dad is, now that Harry's dad is, in the
Because
news,
Peter does
whatever.
not
So
trust Oscorp anymore.
right, exactly. So Harry May Webb, I forgot what it stands for,
Yeah, I don't know.
but y'all can check it out. But he made
World
like a new company
engineering
called
buddies. I don't know.
something.
We just
I don't know. But he made web basically, and that's how the scientists they're supposed to be going over there, to maneuver. That's how they gonna maneuver with Peter.
and they reached
So
out to all the kids that were in the program with Peter also. The only one who
right,
looks like they're not going to join is Amadeus Cho because Amadeus Cho is still partnered up with Oscorp.
yeah. So it's just gonna be interesting in seeing that play out because you know what when I listen to the theme song, the most interesting part of the theme song to me is and I always do better with the team. The last line.
Mm.
So it was like when I kept hearing that, like even the first episode, the first time I heard it, I was like, what team? I was like, what team is like? So when I seen Norman Osborn, buddy up with him at first, I said, oh, are they going this way? Like, is he gonna be part of the? Which he was a part of the team for a little second, you know what I mean? But we see he's not now. So now I see they really kind of leaning into that team part,
Well, now that they
The
all
no
know that he's Spider
the no
Man,
secrets though between Nico and Peter is interesting because Peter said no more secrets,
which
but
he will
Nico's
at some
apparently
point, which
talking
he
to
no,
his.
he will at some point hold some secrets. Come on, man.
Oh yeah, well that's Peter Parker, of course, that's Peter Parker. But I mean, but for right now though, it looks like Nico's having a secret when she's went to go talk to her mom, who's apparently in the pendant she's carrying around.
Yeah,
So that's just interesting how this team is gonna like work out.
there's gonna be
Even Harry
clashes,
just being
obviously.
yeah, even Harry just being Norman Osborn's son. Like um, like you mentioned, I can't remember her name, but you mentioned the girl who was working with Daredevil. She had mentioned, she said, it looks like
Well, I didn't
Harry's
mention the
taking
name.
after.
I was leaving that up in the clouds.
Oh, I forgot. But she was like, it looks like Harry is taking after his dad. So, when you say something like that, and then Daredevil's like, yeah, take
Keep an eye
look
on
out for
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
keep an eye on him for me. You know what I mean? And she like, yeah, I'm with it. But so it's interesting to see. It kind of just leaves little open spaces to like what's gonna happen with the whole web thing itself, outside of like Spider-Man just fighting the regular bad guys. You know what I mean? Like, and we also had Octavius staring at the his octopus suit. I think he's
He's
preparing to
trying to make that plan in jail,
yeah, he's preparing to attach it to himself, get
and
right.
we know they're
Uh,
working on the glider.
they're working on the glider. They're working on the glider, and they said it's improving and stuff like that. So a lot of shit is unfolding. A lot of shit is unfolding. I like if they do another 10 episodes. I think that's enough to even to fill up a lot of the cliffhangers they left,
Well,
and to give us some new ones.
I feel like they did a good job of giving us the introduction. This was a great introduction to the world of Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, where now we can just get into more of the like actual stories of him being Spider-Man and just doing the day-to-day of like obviously we're gonna see Peter in his life and all these other guys in their regular life. But now we're gonna start getting into that meat and potatoes of him actually dealing with bad guys and bigger things. Not necessarily Thanos level shit, but like the shit that we normally see Spider-Man doing in his TV shows is gonna start happening now. The the
I
the,
mean,
the
never asked you
exposure and
something.
all
Any of
that,
them interesting? Say that again.
the exposure and all that, because like obviously he doesn't trust Oscorp, so he's gonna be keeping an eye out. Like all that stuff is all the shit is hitting the fan basically for everybody around, where they're like they don't even realize it's hitting the fan yet.
Right. I think what I'm gonna expand on the exposure part you said. What I was about to say too is it was interesting is gonna see like how they got the other heroes in the world, the Avengers and all that stuff. is what's going to be interesting to see is as he starts to, as you know, as he continues to be Spider-Man more and more, how they react to him. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I
do
mean?
they
Like, he's
chime in? Do they kind of just let him do his own thing?
right, because him and Iron Man always develops a good relationship. Like, it may not be MCU level, but they always develop some type of relationship where it's like, they're cool and shit like that. So that's gonna be. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see different team ups because they played well on the him and Strange thing,
I
first introducing him
wonder
in the whole.
if we get
Huh?
really. I wonder if we start getting really deep with it and start seeing like multiverse, like interdimensional type stuff. Because the first thing I thought when they were talking about opening up portals to other worlds, I was like, this would be a fly way to introduce Miles Morales. Like just
Mm.
taking into the Spider Verse and be like, there you go. We just popped into his world one day.
Are they ever both kids at the same time? Spider Man.
There is a cartoon that already exists, a series of Spider-Man where they do both exist at the same time as Spider-Man.
Mm.
I think it's
I
a
remember
more
there was
it's
a
on Netflix. I'm
cartoon.
pretty sure the series that I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I remember there was a cartoon. You're right, where Miles he came to their universe and he got stuck there, and
No, I think he's not even like from a different universe. He's just another kid who just happens to have Spider-Man powers.
Oh, word? Oh shit,
Yeah,
that's fire too.
I don't
That's
remember
dope.
how it really goes because I just remember my brother was watching it and I think I just caught like good 5-10 episodes with him one day when we were just chilling watching it. And I was like, oh, there's a Miles Morales already here, bro. That's kind of cool. And it was like more Peter's already like kind of accustomed to being Spider-Man, even though he's still a kid. So he's kind of teaching him not necessarily teaching him the ropes, but kind of like, just being there for him if he needs it.
Right,
Because it's
right,
not really
right.
focused around Miles, but like Miles pops up enough that it's like, hey, 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 like bro, I got you, and he realized that he has extra powers that he doesn't have, but also he still needs to learn how to be Spider-Man. So,
Yeah, the potential team ups interesting.
and think about it, we already got confirmed for season 3, so we already know this next season is probably gonna be really fucking good if they already locked it in for 3.
Right, right, yeah, it's gonna be cool. Did we? I think we saw something about the what you call that? No, we seen Connors, but it was nothing about her in the serum
Yeah,
yet.
we
No.
haven't gotten there yet, but they always play her as the a good person. She's all that
Good
Connors, no
person.
matter what that person is portrayed as, is always somebody who's fine, is just doing experiments, and the experiments kind of throw them awry and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
Connor
it's,
is
it's
just
more like
trying
animal
to
instinct kicks in once they start playing with the regeneration of lizards and shit like that.
yeah. I'm about to say Connor always just try to heal him or herself.
Yeah, and,
Honestly,
and injecting herself with the iguana or whatever it is, whatever lizard, that animal instinct is normally what starts taking over and making that person act that way. Because when they're regular human in their human form, they don't act that way.
right? Yeah.
So
I mean, some of them are still dickheads, but Connor is usually a good person.
exactly, exactly.
He's mad cool. He's just being when he's not an alligator then or a crocodile. That
So
nigga's just
eventually we'll get there. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get there too with Connors. Like that's probably happening next season, where Connors goes and becomes the lizard at some point.
yeah. You know what? Yeah, because she's too innocent right now. She's too
Yeah,
innocent.
yeah.
She don't know what's going on in the lab, so I can see her. I can see that going.
And what causes it is not malicious. It's innocent. She's just trying to fix her arm at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like she's just trying to get
I'm
two
saying, yeah,
arms.
she's too innocent. It's gonna happen.
Like I'm never
Nobody's
gonna
innocent.
knock Connors for trying to have an arm, bro. Like what? I would hate not having an arm. What the fuck?
Somebody pointed something out to me yesterday. How him becoming Spider-Man did not fix his eyesight, and it did not give him muscles. And I said, "Oh yeah, you're right."
I mean, he is kind of swole. I'm not gonna lie. When he was when Nico went into the alley, I was like, this boy kind of swole. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh yeah, I ain't really peeping. I feel like
Cause he's never stocky. He's never like big, big. He's like skinny big.
nah, he never get crazy big. You
So it's
right.
hard to really
Not
tell
even,
if he's bigger than what he is in his regular clothes because he wears a sweater all day, every day,
but
bro.
not healing the eyesight thing. I was like, I also pointed out.
But how do we know his eyesight's not healed? He just wears the glasses to stick to his regular routine. Wouldn't it be kind of weird if he just stopped
Normally,
wearing
but you know
glasses?
why? But normally, because when they show like depict the eyesight changing, he can't wear the glasses.
Well, I know they did that in the Tobey Maguire version. Yeah, they did that there, but like
They did that with Tom Holland too.
he
They
was
did
wearing.
that
I
two
don't
times.
remember him wearing glasses in Tom Holland.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's Andrew Garfield. Is it with
I
Andrew
don't even
Garfield? For
remember
sure.
it there. I don't even remember it there. I
Maybe
remember the
no,
time.
no. For sure,
I'll
I
go
remember
back
that
and
shit.
watch because I was telling myself the other day I got to rewatch those again. Because somebody was saying Jamie Foxx was so bad as a lecturer, and I was like, yeah, he wasn't hot, but was he that bad? Nah. But I know in the Toby one he does it because that's like a big scene, and when he pulls off the glasses, he's like, oh shit, I can see. But I think Peter here maybe can see. Maybe he hasn't tested it out to see if he can see because he's just so used to doing it, and it would be a little strange. Like think about Aunt May's gonna question that, like Peter, you're not wearing your glasses. Nico's gonna question that, like you're not wearing your glasses. Pearl's gonna be like, you don't wear glasses anymore? Did you get contacts or something? Like,
I wonder why Aunt May went to go see his father because
well, that's the cliffhanger they left it on. So I'm definitely interested
I
too.
thought, yeah, because by how his father was talking, he like I ain't expected to see you.
And
Like, you know what I mean?
honestly, it might tie into what I said earlier because she's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you know he's doing an internship with Norman Osborn." He's probably gonna be like, huh, "Tell him to watch himself." Like
He'll be like, you know that nigga Spider Man.
he's like,
She probably
tell him to
will.
watch himself around Norman Osborn because he's a piece of shit, scumbag. Why
Yeah,
you
but
think he
she
got so
could have
much time
been.
to work on them damn waves? Because he's a
But
scumbag
don't
and
you think
got
she would have been
slaves,
told him that though?
huh?
Don't you think she would have been told him that though when the nigga showed up on her couch?
How do we know she's in constant communication with Peter's dad?
I don't know. The nigga in jail, he ain't hard to find. You know, that's what
That
I'm trying to
yeah, but
say.
that don't mean like remember he asked for the update. He don't know nothing as of right now.
Oh yeah, that's true. But that's what I mean. If it was a issue,
Tell me
maybe it
about
just
my
became an
son.
issue. Maybe it gave me issue when he got into the news for that shit. You know what I mean? Like maybe she was like, all right, it's whatever. But then when he got into the news for that shit, she like, oh no, I gotta go tell this nigga
In the
because
news, what Peter was in the news? I don't recall Peter being in the news.
no. When Norman Osborn got in the news for all that shit going down in Oscorp.
Hmm. Yeah, I
So
don't know.
maybe when
That
he
is the good
became maybe
question.
when he
Like,
became like
why
a
did Aunt May go?
yeah, like maybe when he became a danger to like a parent public danger, she like, oh no, I gotta tell this nigga now.
What was he gonna do? He's in jail. That's what I'm saying. I just think she's just checking in because realistically, that's I'm pretty sure. What is it? Ben Parker.
Oh yeah, that's
Ben would be his brother, right? So she doesn't that wouldn't be a person that she's checking in with all the time.
Ben would be Ben would Ben, but yeah, that'd be like a
That'd
step.
be Ben's brother. So like that's not something who she's always in contact with. She's probably just going to check in to give an update. Like, yo, how are you doing? And he's like, yeah, I ain't heard from you in a minute. How's my son doing? That's what I really care about right now. She's gonna give him the breakdown, like, yo, he's dealing with Norman Osborn. He's in an internship. The whole Midtown thing didn't go through. And he's probably gonna be like, motherfucking Norman. Bitch ass nigga got
Right.
his hands on my kid, don't he?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can see that. I can see that because I could definitely see that because why else would he be in jail? Smart ass nigga. If he's smart, and on the smart niggas in Peter Parker
And he
world only
already
go to
landed
jail.
Doc Ock in jail, bro. So who's to say he ain't land Peter Parker daddy in jail? I wonder
That's
if
what I
Peter
mean.
even knows his dad's in jail. I wonder if he even knows that.
That is a better question. Yeah,
Because she
that's
seemed
true. Because
really guilty when she was there.
that is true. He never mentions that. He never like really mentioned his parents in this one. So it's interesting to see if he even knows if he's in.
'Cause I feel like that's a thing that is like common with Peter Parker is he's not in the know of a lot of things when he's a kid because people
Where's
feel like
the
he's a kid and
mom?
he shouldn't know. He doesn't, well,
Where's the
not shouldn't
mom?
know, but doesn't really need to know.
Who's dead now? Is the
Imagine
mom dead?
if they make his parents villains. That'd be fucking great.
Imagine if the mom is like out doing some wild villain shit right now.
Imagine if she's Professor Connors. That'd be funny as fuck. And she just acting like she don't know who that is the whole time. She's like, I know who this is, bro. This my kid, bro. Why you think he's smart as shit?
No, I don't think that's part of it, but that's funny though. That would be funny though.
But let's get into it, man. What are we rating this, man? I'm giving this like this an 8. This an 8 out of 10 to me for so far. It's not no 7. A whole series wise, yeah, this an 8.
Yeah, the whole series is a good 8.5. It's cool.
Yeah, I liked everything that they did so far. It was nice, smooth pace. It didn't feel rushed. They didn't get into crazy action right away. The action they do give us, there's a lot of moments where I'm just like, oh shit, you was doing this, bro? Like, oh my god, he was about to fuck Don ass up, and Don ran away.
The action was fire. The action they gave us was fire. I ain't even going front. I was really feeling the action. The fights on the last 3, 4 episodes, pretty good. Um, the last episode fight was all right, like with symbiote. It was cool. My highlight about that was really when they went into the negative dimension. They was fighting. Remember that we ain't
Oh
mentioned
yeah,
that.
that quick moment and shit like that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I ain't going front. That was dope. I was wondering. I was like, well, what's gonna happen? But yeah, good like solid 8. I give it an 8.3. I give it between 8.5 and an 8. I give it 8.3. Because I think it's leaning towards 8.5, but what probably would have made it 8.5 was just
Oh, you're about to
not a
nitpick. You're about to. You don't even know what you want to say. You're about to nitpick.
oh no, because I'm like the plot was dope. Like the whole story was dope. I felt like maybe it was just missing one little thing. I can't really
Like what?
pinpoint what it was, but
Like what?
I don't know. But yeah, maybe I don't know. But 8.3, 8.3, 8.3 out of 10.
Yeah, like especially in these last couple episodes, I loved what they were doing, man. Like I love seeing him moving around this last fight with him and Lonnie and Matt Gargan, aka Scorpion. Like I was like, yo, he's really like coming into his Spider-Man-ness as he goes through these episodes. Like he was really moving around smoothly, especially when he was starting to snap when he thought he crushed Lonnie and all that shit, and he was just like smooth, dodging the tail and then hit him with a web. Dodge the tail, hit him with a web. Got up close that,
Oh yeah.
eat that shit, my boy.
Like,
He was clapping that boy, bro. He hit him with like 20 of them punches on the floor, bro.
yeah, he started wilding out. You remember how he was doing, how he did him episode before?
Yeah, exactly. Like he said to Norman that at the end of that episode, he was like, "Yo, you telling me what you told me in those prior episodes about not letting loose and not holding back? I listened to it and I started going to a dark place." And he was like, "Hey, I mean, but you came back, and that was what is important that you didn't go to that dark place."
I think that's another reason why Peter don't want to fuck with Osborn, just because of what the advice did to him. I think that kind of like
Well, at the end of the day, just that moment alone is important because I'm like, that's literally those things that start leading him down that path to the black suit. Is him losing the grasp, having those influences that make him feel like it's okay to let loose as long as you pull back in. And that's always the thing about the symbiote suit is it's making him embrace that letting loose and not holding back. And that's the importance of being Spider-Man is that he always pulls himself back in.
He gonna need that suit to fuck up Lonnie.
He gonna need it at some point. I don't know for who. He might even be the Green Goblin, but like he gonna need it at some point. And like I just said, it's gonna be about him almost going too far and realizing that this is not the way to do things as Spider-Man.
Right.
Because that's always like a part of his story somewhere down the line is that like I am going too far. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing as a hero. Like Lonnie told him, he was like, yo, you're a hero. Don't lose that because Matt Gargan done pushed you to your edge. So
same old Spider. So I feel like he got the same old Spider-Man advice from different people, which was cool.
I didn't even bring it up. We were supposed to bring it up last episode, but I'll bring it up right now with 2 lines that were said in the first 8 episodes. One, Norman Osborn. He's the Uncle Ben, fake Uncle Ben, Tony Stark. With great power comes great respect. The knockoff line that he used. And then you also had Harry Osborn in one of those episodes. He hit him with the Mary Jane line. Said, "Get him, Tiger."
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah.
But yeah, so Spider-Man, man. You're a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Disney has knocked these last 2 bringbacks of old cartoons out the fucking park.
The last 2, X-Men.
Yeah, they have knocked these shits out the park, bro, in my book. Like, I feel like if anybody's telling you they don't like this shit, do not listen to them, bro. Do not listen to those people.
X-Men won an award recently.
Yeah, if anybody's telling you this, they're not your friends, bro. They're critics. They're just haters, honestly. Like,
I think I enjoyed the X-Men story a little more, but I like the cliffhangers in
Well, this is a
Finding
fresh
Nemo
start
Spider-Man.
story where the X-Men story is a continuation of old.
That's
So
true.
that already
And
had building blocks
but
to
they
play off
still,
of.
but the way they did it, man, that X-Men shit was masterful.
I mean, but
Like I
yeah,
feel
like think
like
about it. Even the villain's a building block from the original series, though. So like that's what I'm saying. That they had stuff that they already had lined up that they were just like, how do we use this in the future? Where Spider-Man is like just giving you a whole new presented idea with characters we already know, starting fresh from the
yeah,
beginning.
it's gonna be very interesting. I know I already said this, but it's gonna be very interesting just to see where they go with this whole Spider-Man.
Definitely.
He's like a fresh new feeling, fresh new story.
Like this is one of those things
Everything.
that like I can't even build a theory on where I think this goes realistically. Like I'm just ready for the ride.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. Y'all gotta watch it. As we watch it, everybody just gotta watch it to find out because yeah, you can't really predict this shit right now. You can't predict it. There's no way you can predict how Lonnie's story is gonna go.
And I hope you've seen it
Nigga
because
could be
we
good.
getting more Marvel soon.
The nigga Lonnie could be good all through season 2.
Yeah.
And then
I wouldn't
season
be
3
surprised
just
if somewhere toward the end of season 2 is when he starts turning.
feel me like he could really they could even go deeper, like make the nigga turn into Tombstone. But now he's really fucking with Spider Man, like on some like nigga, you know what I mean? Like
I
fuck
wouldn't be surprised if somewhere if we get another good season like this, and then somewhere in that 2 to 3, we get somewhat of a time skip. Not a huge one, but somewhere where they're a little older, like maybe 18 to like just getting out of high school. Because I feel like the Tombstone stuff happening while he's still a teenager, like the full out Tombstone stuff, would be a little weird.
Yeah, no, I thought that too. I thought they was gonna probably push forward
So
with
like,
something
yeah,
like that.
maybe season 2 will end, or like toward the end of season 2, they'll show us a time skip. But I think somewhere either at the end of season 2 or between 2 and 3, there's gonna be a time skip, and we're gonna come back and find them at like 18, 19-ish, maybe 20, and more full-fledged Spider-Man and stuff like that, more full-fledged Lonnie. And maybe they'll not show us the full breakup of them, but make us be like, oh shit, they're not friends no more, they're beefing. And while they're beefing, go back and tell a story of like what transpired to make this happen.
I can do that. Yeah, that's another way of looking at it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
another cool
I
thing to
wouldn't
do.
be surprised. So I'm just optimistic, man. They got me. This being my favorite character, my favorite superhero, they just got me so optimistic for the future of them. And I hope this has a good life cycle, bro. I hope we don't get to season 3 and we're like, oh man, they fucking it up, bro. Like they're not doing it right anymore. So, and they do so many projects. I hope they don't lose focus.
Now I don't see this losing steam. I don't. Well, I know what you mean by focus because
Yeah, because like think about it, they got Daredevil coming out. They got all these movies that they want to work on. They got to bring back X-Men 97 at some point. Like there's so much stuff that they got to work on. I don't want them to start putting too many resources somewhere and not have the resources to give us a good Spider-Man story moving forward. And I'm assuming
yeah.
that season 2 is probably already done. If they're already green lighting season 3, I'm assuming somebody already saw season 2 and was like, yeah, give them season 3. Like it's already ready to go, probably.
Most likely, I can see that because why would they greenlit season 3?
But yeah,
Once they
so
green-
but that is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man season finale, first season in the books. Spider Pig does whatever.
Word, but yeah, that was my friend name was Spider Man. Go check it out. Shit was fire. Definitely gives you everything action,
If you like
destruction.
Spider-Man, you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, it just gives you a whole different perspective. A lot of cliffhangers, pretty good. Go check it out.
And if you don't like it,
This
I'm
has
sorry that you're too
been
much of an adult now to appreciate this.
yeah. Really, honestly, you just I don't know. You stuck. I don't know.
Yeah, you
Feel me
might be
out.
too grown for this kind of stuff to be cool for you anymore. But like, hey, I liked it. Mo liked it. I hope y'all like it.
Check it out. This has been
Peace.
N.E.O. Blak Cinco. Peace.
Follow us at N.E.O the pod on like everything.